what I love so much about this fight is that there's two great stories here. There's you and your story, and we've talked about it, and your road to the UFC and the journey. And there's this guy named Charles Oliveira who's been in the UFC since 2010. He made his debut on a network that no longer exists, versus he's had his ups and downs, missing weight, problems, all kinds of stuff. And now he has found himself, and he's looked like a buzzsaw as of late. And so I'm just wondering, from your perspective, what has impressed you most about what Charles Oliveira has done on this winning streak?
Man, I mean, that is the thing. I wouldn't be standing here today without loving and seeing firsthand kind of that underdog story, the stick-to-itiveness, the highs, the lows, the getting beat down and pulling yourself back up. So in that regard, you can't help but to just love Charles Oliveira's story, honestly. I started fighting in 2009. He's been signed with the UFC since 2010. Man, he was just a young kid from Brazil with a glimmer in his eye and a hope that maybe someday when I get into this sport, I could be a UFC champion. And it has taken him over a decade now to get this UFC title shot. So I by no means think that my road is any better or worse, but it is really cool. It's a tale of two completely different stories. The guy who has cut his teeth and worked extremely hard over a decade inside the UFC to get the title shot. And then the guy who's worked his tail off, had a bunch of highs and lows, and dusted himself off outside the UFC, and then come into the UFC now to get the title shot. So, man, I just think his evolution as a fighter, his striking, he's the most dangerous guy in the world on the ground. Not only does he have the most submission wins in UFC history, but the way in which, the versatility in which he's able to finish fights on the ground in any given moment. You are kidding yourself if you don't think you are in absolute danger at all times when Charles Oliveira is within an arm's reach of you to be able to pick you up, put you down, and roll you up into some kind of crazy submission. So that's what excites me. That's what scares me. That's what keeps me up at night. And that's why I'm going to go out there on Saturday night on my P's and Q's with my best foot forward, and I believe put together a phenomenal performance and game plan to be able to stake my claim as the number one lightweight in the world. But I'd be lying to you if I didn't say this fight scares me a little bit and it excites me.
A couple last things, and then I'll let you go. Just curious, you're a tremendous wrestler. Obviously, that's your base. His base is jiu-jitsu. Both of you have turned into great strikers as well. But often when you have the wrestler and the jiu-jitsu guy, you don't want the jiu-jitsu guy off his back. Your strength would be to take him down, but off his back. So that often leads to a predominant striking matchup. Are you thinking that this fight will be contested mostly on the feet as a result of that?
I would like it to be. I think from the first time that glove touches Charles Oliveira, wherever it is, body, shoulder, head, he's going to realize that he's in there with a different guy. Kevin Lee is known for his hands, but he doesn't even have close to the speed and power that I have. Tony Ferguson kind of didn't really bring much to the table in the striking department. The guys that he has fought over this 8-fight win streak, I don't think he's fought anybody in his entire career that has the power and the speed that I have. But if the fight goes to the ground as well, I train with Gilbert Burns, Herbert Burns, Wagner Rocha. I train with some really high-level BJJ black belts. I have fought some high-level BJJ black belts, guys who have over 20 submission wins in their career, guys who roll guys up really quickly. I have a knack and a sixth sense for not getting caught in submissions in a lot of regards. Short neck, short arms, short limbs, and just a confident, strong power pressure base. And that's kind of the wrestler way. So if I need to pick him up, put him down, or even if a crazy scramble happens and I trip, fall down, get taken down off the cage, I'm getting hand control, I'm getting back up, and we're going to get back to the feet, and I'm going to keep punishing him.